Good evening, everyone. Thank you for attending tonight's meeting, hybrid meeting of the Fall River Historical Commission. The meeting format tonight is both in person, also via Zoom. It is Tuesday, April 16th, 2024. It is 6 o'clock p.m. Pursuant to the open meeting law, any person may make an audio or video recording of this public meeting or may transmit the meeting through any medium. Attendees are therefore advised that such recordings or transmissions are being made whether perceived or unperceived by those present and are deemed acknowledged and permissible. May I get a roll call?
Ashley DeCunha, present.
Jonathan Lima, present.
Rick Mancini, present.
Connie Soul, present.
Joyce Roderick's present.
And Jason Bouchard-Naraki, present. Elizabeth DeBlock is absent tonight. We do not have any open seats. For those that are attending in person also via Zoom, we have Fall River Government TV, which will be available on their website, on YouTube, as well as their the television's website. First item on the agenda, we have the minutes to review and approve the minutes from March 19th, 2024.
I'll make a motion to accept the March 19th, 2024 minutes.
Thank you.
I'll second that motion.
Connie, okay. I have a motion by Rick, second by Connie, to approve the minutes from March 19th, 2024. Roll call vote. Ashley?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
Connie?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
And Jason Bouchard-Naraki, yes. Thank you. Item number 2, to review and approve the minutes from April 4th, 2024.
Again,
I'll make a motion.
Thank you.
I'll
To approve.
second.
All right, Ashley and Rick. Okay. Roll call votes. Ashley?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
Connie?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
And Jason Bouchard-Naraki, yes. Thank you. That was for the minutes of April 4th. Do we have any citizens' input for tonight? No? Okay. I did not receive any notices of intent to demolish. Item number 3, we did receive an inquiry regarding design restrictions and historical status of 176 Underwood Street. I did tell Carrie Ash that the property is not listed on the city's register of significant structures. It is not in the 40C Highlands Local Historic District, so there are no design restrictions or demolition delay. I did say that the property is certainly eligible for that. If the new homeowners would like to explore that process, I did submit over the design guidelines and information regarding the registers. So we'll see if we do hear from that. But under new business, item 4, we have 3 continued letters of support, 3 requests for continued letters of support for historic tax credit applications. This is coming from Ryan LLC. 4A is the Sanford Spinning Mills at 206 Globe Mills Avenue. 4B is Union Built, 66 Troy Street. And 4C have a representative from Ryan LLC presenting. Hello. If you wouldn't mind introducing yourself with your name and who you're representing.
Yes, my name is Mary Nastasi, and I'm representing Ryan LLC.
Thank you. So I guess down the line, so we're looking to see, are there any project updates for any of the, I guess we could start with Sanford Spinning Mill?
Yes, so Sanford Spinning, there is no construction currently happening. Right now, as I understand it, they're just in the process of cleaning, gutting, removing everything in order to create a vanilla box to have a clean space. Okay. Right now, we're still waiting on the MHC response from the January 15th deadline cycle. So they anticipate closing on the construction loan and starting the project by July 1st if they get an approval from the state.
Is there a general backlog from MHC regarding the January applications?
Over the past couple of years, we've been seeing MHC issue these responses later and later. Okay. It is not very common that we don't receive responses until usually around the date of the next deadline, if not a couple of days after. So it is not unusual, and they usually issue all of the responses at once. So all projects are currently waiting for responses, not just this one.
Okay. I believe when we looked at the property back in, I think it was August, the owner was clearing out one of the mill structures, so that whole process is still ongoing. There's quite a bit, so, okay. But no changes to the design or anything of that nature?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. And then in regards to Notre Dame, he is currently under construction. It is our understanding that he is following the approved scope of work and is doing everything above board in accordance with his approvals. He is planning on reapplying in the next round, and other than that, it seems to be pretty status quo.
Is there any construction being undertaken at that property at this time? It doesn't, it seems to be just lying dormant.
My understanding is that there is construction happening. So my colleague Emily Dominiani is the one who is actually the project manager for that. She's out on maternity leave at the moment, so while we have checked in with the owners, they've just reported that they're doing construction. But I can confirm that that's what the scope is. But as of conversations that my colleague had with the owner this morning, they indicated they're currently doing some work there.
When we toured the property in, I think, August, also, there was a long-standing issue getting utilities set up, and that was delaying the general clearing out of the property and so forth. I'm assuming that has been since rectified?
I believe so.
Okay.
At the last presentation 3 months ago, the electrical situation had not been resolved. So are you saying it has been resolved?
I believe it has. I would have to confirm for you.
Okay. Any questions so far on either the Sanford Spinning Mills or Notre Dame Rectory? And then regarding Union Belt at 66 Troy Street?
Yep, so that building is under construction. They have completed their interior demolition. They've restored most of the historic industrial character, so brick walls, wood ceiling decking, beams, columns. They're in the process of fine-tuning some of their designs. So for instance, they have the hoistway doors on the east and the west elevations, which they are going to be replicating in kind, as they are not in adequate condition to be retained. But yep, also planning to reapply. Seems to be moving ahead without any issue or changes.
That's good. Okay. Great. Any questions for Mary on any of the 3 items? Okay.
No.
All right. Should we do a vote of just the general package of these 3 properties, or should we go down the?
Do all
No,
3.
you could take.
Do all 3?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Do I have a motion to?
I will make a
approve?
motion for continued letters of support
For all 3
for all 3
projects?
properties. Yeah, the Sanford Spinning, Union Belt, and Notre Dame Rectory.
And I'll second that motion.
All right. Motion by Ashley, a second by Rick, to approve a continued letters of support for the package of 3 properties. Roll call, Ashley,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Rick,
Rick Mancini, yes.
Connie,
Yes.
Joyce,
Yes.
and Jason Bouchard Naraki, yes. Thank you very much, Mary. I will send the updated letter to you by the end of the week.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You as well.
All right, thank you. So next we have item number 5, A, B, and C. We have, again, continued request for continued letters of support for historic tax credit applications for the following properties. 5A is Wyoming Mills at 110 Chase Street. 5B is Flint Mills at 135 Alden Street. And 5C is the Durfee Block at 80 to 84 North Main Street. And I believe we have a representative from Heritage Consulting Group here. Good evening.
Good evening. Hi, yes, you're correct. This is Scott Doyle from Heritage Consulting Group.
Thank you. And if you wouldn't mind, just down the line, any updates? So with 5A, we have the Wyoming Mills at 110 Chase Street. Have there been any updates to the project thus far?
There have not been. We are still working with the applicant to complete the Part 2 review at the federal level. So construction, rehabilitation work has not begun, and we're waiting to the Park Service placed a hold on for some revisions to the drawings, and we're working on those right now.
Okay. When we met with the owner back in, was it July? We did review, or we had approved a waiver for demolition delay ordinance on the modern additions to the structure. Has started on any of that?
I am not 100% sure on that. I will be seeing the developer tomorrow. And I have taken over the projects for Michael LaFlash, who was the prior project manager for these for Heritage, and he's no longer working with Heritage. So I'm meeting with the client tomorrow to get up to speed on the project and see where we are.
What is the, was there any substantial damage with the fire that occurred there? And has that affected the project at all?
I cannot confirm that, so I can report back to you on that. I was not aware of that.
All right.
And regarding the regarding the demolition delay, for the parts of the building that are not historic that we have reviewed, so we had approved the waiver, waiving the 6-month delay. That demo permit is essentially valid for I believe a year. So that will be coming up if demolition has not started by a year to that point in July. It'll start that cycle all over again. We would have to review the demo permit because the delay would start all over again. Just so making that aware.
Thank you. Yes, I was not aware of that
Okay.
deadline, so I will, as I said, I'm going to be speaking with the client tomorrow,
Okay.
and I will confirm what the status is of the demolition and if they're going to commence that prior to the expiration of the current permit.
Okay. Any other questions on
Yeah,
Wyoming
and-
Mills?
and
Okay.
when you respond to with that to Jason, would you also, if there was any damage done, because that's going to change the face of the project if the fire caused significant damage. So get that to us, please.
I will definitely do that, yes. And I agree that if there was significant damage, there would be a change in scope, and we'd want to advise you of that. So I will do that as soon as possible.
Thank you.
Any other questions on that topic? Okay. Regarding Flint Mills at 135 Alden Street, has there been any progress on that project?
No, that's in a similar state. It's under the same applicant, and it's under the same ownership. The part one was delayed for approval at the parks at the Massachusetts Historical Commission, and they forwarded that to the Park Service last week. So the part one certification should be completed within a 2 to 3 week period, and there is also a hold on the part two review down there for updated drawings. So we're working with the client on that as well.
Has any construction or demolition clearing out of the property commenced?
I cannot confirm
Okay.
that, and I can report back to you on that after I meet with the client.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Any questions on the Flint Mills?
No,
Okay. And then 5C, the Durfee Block at 80 to 84 North Main Street. Again, any updates on that project?
The part two was submitted to the National Park Service in mid-January, and it is still there was a request for more information that was submitted and received last week, and that is still being reviewed and is not under construction at this point.
Okay.
There's been a delay on that building with the partial collapse of the roof. Has that been rectified or being looked at or engineered, or what's happening with that?
I will have to check with the project manager on that project. I believe that may be what the more information that was submitted to the Park Service was concerning, but I will double check on the roof stabilization and confirm if it has been made weather tight and stabilized.
Okay. So it seems like I'm getting the general consensus that there are backups with both MHC and the National Park Service that's delaying these three projects. I mean, we also had that with, as Mary indicated, with. All right. Any other questions for Mr. Doyle?
No.
Okay.
I would, if a motion was
Yeah.
made, if I made a motion, it would be conditional on getting some sort of responses back, because Flint Mills is not an issue, but the Wyoming response, get information on these two situations.
And I believe your filing deadline, it's April 30th, correct?
Okay.
Okay.
And will this need to go back to a vote, or if I provide the response within that time frame, you can issue the letters?
As long, you respond, and we could vote on this tonight
Okay.
and approve on getting those responses.
Understood. I
Fair
appreciate that.
enough.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yep, we can do that.
Should we put, because it's due on their filing deadline is by end of day on April 30th. Is there a reasonable time period between now and then, which is 2 weeks away, to have that information in by?
Well, how soon can you get that information to us?
I would plan on getting it early next week, Monday or Tuesday. I would hope to be able to provide Jason with an update on that,
Okay.
on the status of both the Durfee roof situation and the fire situation at Wyoming.
Would that be adequate time for you to get the letter out?
Oh, absolutely.
Get it
Okay,
midweek.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
So that was a vote to approve the letters of support, the package for these three properties, with the condition that the information is supplied for 5A and 5C.
Correct.
Okay. And were you making a motion on that?
I'll make the motion.
Okay.
I'll second the motion.
Rick and Connie, all right. So, motion by Rick, second by Connie, to approve the continued letters of support with those conditions for 5A, B, and C. Roll call, Ashley?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Rick?
Rick Mancini, yes.
Connie?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
And Jason Bouchard Naraki, yes. All right, Scott, thank you very much for this. And once we hear back from you, I will, as long as those items are met, we will get those letters out.
Great, thank you very much. I appreciate it, and I can just email that information directly to you, Jason. That's
Correct.
the best way to submit.
Absolutely.
And we understand you're taking over these projects. It's a little difficult, you need us, so we understand.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Great, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, have a good evening.
You too, thank you.
Two.
All right, next we have a request from First Bristol Corporation regarding a continued letter of support for historic tax credit application for St. Catherine's Convent, Dominican Academy at 37 Park Street. This is item 6A, and we have a representative from First Bristol. Good evening.
Jeffrey Caron, First Bristol Corporation.
Thank you. And, great, thank you very much for joining tonight. And kind of saw how we were working through this.
So
Mhm.
we've submitted our application, part one, part two,
Mhm.
the historic and state. There's been some, back and forth. They wanted clarification on stuff, so it's still with them, and just nothing's changed
Okay.
substantially or major, and we're still moving forward. Just things are taking longer.
Right.
Feedback.
Yep. We're getting that from that with the National Park Service, and this is the time of the year that they start. There's a backlog on things, so. But it's still, I believe the plan was for office, flex space and office space through, was it St. Anne's Hospital and then other?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So as of right now, the plan is still moving forward.
Okay.
So
has work started at all inside?
No,
Nothing?
no.
Okay.
Just maintaining the building.
Yeah, so you're still trying to finalize the tax credits, essentially?
Yeah, just everything in the scope and
Sure.
it's dictating
Sure.
the majority of how the building lays
Yeah.
out.
Okay.
Different things. They
I'll-
wanted to see different roof lines the last time and angles.
Okay.
Okay. Are the drawings primarily completed?
Yeah, they're
You have-
about, I would say 80%.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's good.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
good
so-
substantial completion.
You know, the inside of the building is actually in really good shape, so that's where it's become the challenge of leaving and preserving a lot of the stuff, so.
And I believe you're working with Epsilon?
Yep,
Okay.
yep, so they've been very involved in it.
That's good. Excellent. Yeah, no, that'll be a welcome change in the earliest addition to the neighborhood. Any questions for Mr. Karen at all? All right. This is easy. Motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve continued letter of support.
Thank you.
I'll second the motion.
All right. Motion by Ashley and a second by Rick to approve a continued letter of support for 37 Park Street. Roll call, Ashley?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
Connie?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes,
And Jason Kishargaraki, yes. I'll have that over to you. And just also so you're aware too, the next filing deadline, which I think is in July,
Yep.
will be the same.
Yep,
Yep.
thank you, I appreciate
Thank
it.
you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone. All right, so next, under new business, item number 7, we have a request, an application for a certificate of appropriateness for 687 High Street. This is the Leander Borden William Thomas House, which is located in the Highlands Local Historic District. Good evening. Hello. Wouldn't mind introducing yourself with your
Beverly
name and
Andrews.
address. And your address?
687 High Street.
Thank you. And the work that you're performing on the
I'm
property?
replacing clapboard in the backyard that has broken, I guess rotted, and we're replacing the roof on the garage. There was a little mistype there. It's not wood shingles, it's the roof on the garage shingles.
Roof on the garage, okay.
Mhm.
And what is the material, I'm sorry, on the garage?
It's regular shingles on the
Asphalt?
roof. Asphalt,
Asphalt,
yeah.
okay. Excellent, okay. So. And it's just basically just replacing in kind with material?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, clapboard, the backyard has a lot of rotted clapboard on it. And probably, at least one coat of paint over it.
That's this photo right
That's,
here?
yeah, that's, the worst part is there. There might be one or two
I see, okay.
that might have to be replaced in the front, but
Okay,
only if we keep them busy.
sure.
We might do one or two in the front.
And I do apologize, I don't have the photos printed out, there was an issue printing those out, so we're,
I have them here if somebody wants to see them.
I have my iPad here, so.
Okay, I brought them.
doing
yeah.
that, but, and, in terms of when is the work scheduled to begin?
So we have to wait for the building permit. So my contractor was going to start in early April, but because of the delay, he's already taken another job. So I have to wait now till the other job is done,
Okay,
and then he can come up and then start the job.
okay. Any questions for Ms. Andrew?
I guess, are they gonna be architectural shingles?
Yes,
So be replacing them.
Yeah.
Did you pick a color?
it's going to be red, just like it is now.
Because you can pick whatever color you like.
Thank you.
We're not locking you into a color. You
I'm
do
just
what
going
you
to keep
feel
what's
is
there.
appropriate.
Yeah, I'm just going to keep what's there right now.
Okay, but there will be architectural shingles.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes, we can't
Yes.
approve or deny an application based on roof color and paint color.
The paint color is going to stay the same. I'm just going to be patching up the backyard, so I'm not going to change the color on that. I'm not doing the whole house,
Okay,
just
that
the
one.
backyard.
Okay. Any other questions for Ms. Andrew? And the photos were very helpful, thank you.
Okay, no problem. All set?
I'll make a motion that we send a letter of appropriateness.
Certificate of appropriateness, okay. Motion by Rick.
I'll second it.
Connie. All right, motion by Rick and a second by Connie to approve the certificate of appropriateness for 687 High Street. Roll call, Ashley?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Rick?
Rick Mancini, yes.
Connie?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
And Jason Bouchard-Naraki, yes.
Okay.
I'll have that certificate I'll email it to you, and I will also include Carrie Ayash, who is the licensing clerk, and she'll pass it over to the building department. So we'll have
Okay.
that readily available.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Just a question.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Gail reminded me, so I'll sit down again. On this paperwork, it says the Leander Board in William Thomas House. Our house is listed as a Dr. Nathan Board Durfee House. I don't know where those names came from. So I had done the research on our house a couple of years ago, and those names never appear anywhere in the documents that I have printed.
And I think that's the second time I've referenced that too. I was using the Register of Significant Structures that we have on our website, which has the historical name to it.
Yes.
I will
Might
take,
be an error.
it might be an error.
So in the documents that I pulled out, because I had to go to the Taunton Bristol County Registry of Deeds, and the documents I pulled out, we are the 9th owner of the property.
Okay,
Unless this Leander Borden was a renter, but she or he was never an owner.
okay. I'll take a look also at the Form, so the Form B, the inventory forms for the local historic district, those were updated in 2014, 13, 14 or so. So I'll take a look to see what their.
I can show you all the
sources.
documents that I pulled out of the Taunton Registry
Sure.
too.
If there's any, if there's any corrections that we need to make, then we're happy to make those corrections.
All right.
Okay.
You can email us and I can scan and email those back to you too.
Okay, oh, that would be wonderful.
All right? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next we have, item number 8, certificate of appropriateness for 710 High Street, the John Edwin Cornell House, also in the Highlands 40C.
Good evening. My name is Pedro Vargas, property owner of 710 High Street.
Thank you. And your address, your residential address is 710?
Yes, yes.
And if you can explain the work that you're looking to do?
I'm looking to replace all windows. All windows are deteriorated beyond repair. Most of them are, they're missing parts, or broken, or, and it's basically just trying to replace with double hung windows and
Okay.
vinyl.
Okay, the replacement material will be vinyl?
I believe so. I have the specs here. Yeah.
Yeah, I have the brochure.
Yes.
Just make sure this is pulled out. Actually, it should be in the packets.
Pedro, you are aware that the recommendations from the Department of Interior, Secretary, et cetera, and National Park Services, that you attempt to repair the existing windows. They've been there for almost 100 years.
Right.
You know, vinyl lasts 20, 25 years and they're shot. So, and in most cases, and you'll find this, in fact, the documentation that we
Right.
gave to you sort of states all of that. So, did you look at repairing the windows? You've got aged lumber in there that
Right.
lasts forever versus. you know,
I haven't looked. I did go through the guidelines just to see if that would be something to look at. You know, I don't know of any companies out there that would, you know, repair those windows. I don't know if it's even something that.
Well, we can't recommend contractors or anything like that for work. I know the Preservation Society of Fall River will likely have contractors, or at least the ability to recommend builders that they may have worked with for repairing windows. It is repairing a window versus replacing it. The windows themselves, you know, if one small section needs to be replaced, it can be replaced with a vinyl window. If one small element goes, you have to replace basically the whole frame and the whole.
Right.
And so it's more sustainable to have the wood windows repaired, and you know, even I guess the energy efficiency between a vinyl window versus a wood frame window that has been you know, properly maintained, the glass has been reglazed, etc. There's very little difference in terms of you know, the energy that's in drafts and so forth. And with the vinyl, the Secretary of the Interior Standards recommend if replacement is deemed necessary to replace in kind. And vinyl, it's a change from the wood window. It's a complete change of material. We have looked at windows that are composite. That it's a combination of whether it's a wood frame that might be aluminum clad or that might be made of again a composite material that's paintable versus vinyl, which I know you can change the color of the vinyl and so forth, but the material is substantially different than it's more compatible with a historic wood window if you went with a composite.
Okay.
Windows make up probably 20–25% of the footage of a building, so it's the iconic presentation of a building.
Of course.
When you're looking at windows, and the problem with some of these vinyl windows is that they're just inserts. So what you end up doing is you've got I'm just using numbers here, but you've got a window that's 3 feet or 36 inches. When you put the vinyl in there, you end up with a window that's 32.
Sure.
The whole appearance of the building is changed completely, and that's why the Department of Interior Standards designates to replace and repair. I would like to physically, and we could do that with just 3 of our members, if it would not be a meeting or a quorum, and look at your existing windows, and again, that's recommended also by the
Secretary of the Interiors.
Exactly, thank you. To take a look at that, and then it'll help make us, or allow us to make a decision as to whether we can go with replacement windows or repair the existing.
Okay.
It's a little bit of epoxy, and it goes a long way in repairing these windows. And you know that.
Right.
And we'd really like to take a look at the windows themselves. And as I'm just going to play a little bit on what Jason said, the wood windows repaired and weather stripped properly, and a storm window on that is more effective and efficient than the replacement vinyl windows. So if you're looking to save money and energy, and stay warmer, repairing those windows with the aluminum or some sort of a structurally applicable storm window would be fine. So I would like to make a motion that somewhere along the line in the next few days,
Yes.
we take a look at the windows.
Please.
Again, it would be 2 or 3 at most of the Historic Commission, so that it doesn't constitute a meeting, and we could look at the windows, see what we have. We've done this in the past. This is not something unique.
Understand.
But we want to maintain the appearance of the home. We want it to be, the value to increase for you.
Right.
And keep the uniqueness of that home. So.
Okay, understand. If we can set something up in the next few days, that'd be great.
And just also jumping on too with if a replacement for any of the windows is deemed necessary. So the existing windows are 2/1. You had sent the link to
Yes.
the brochure, and I don't know if this was what was being proposed, the 4/4 that was on the brochure, but I'm assuming that the any replacement that you had in mind was going to be the 2/1.
Yes.
So that has to be maintained as well.
The 2/1, okay.
And just because that house is very it was well documented when it was moved in 81, 82, and then again documented in 2014 when the historic district, the local historic district was established. So.
And if you look at the style of the presentation of this 7400 series replacement window, you see the button on the side, you see how wide they are?
Right.
So what you're going to do is you're going to actually reduce the amount of natural light that you get into the home, number one, significantly, because you're taking, and then that window fits into already the inner perimeter of the existing window.
Right.
So it would be nice if we could take a look and see.
Absolutely.
Make a recommendation. Thank
That
you.
sounds good.
Again, we're not contracted, we're historical.
Understand. Thank you.
So that was regarding the windows, and then you're doing, I believe, the roof.
The roof, yes,
Can you
yes.
explain, go into detail about that? too?
So right now, I'm looking just to put the shingles, over the roof over the porch. Right now, the issue is structurally with the joists, or they're all rotted out. I would like to get the, opinion of the building department and a
This is
contractor,
one of the
just to,
photos you had sent over. I did include that in the material, but could not get that. This is what we're looking at?
correct,
Okay.
yes,
So you have that view. This is, so this plastic is on top, this is.
Correct.
Okay, all right. And so the joist, and then, but then, is the porch, the corner, is it sagging?
it's sagging as well,
Okay.
so we have to consult with the contractor and the building department to see if we can put some kind of, column to support that sagging over that
Okay.
porch. So I would like to do that in steps, if at all possible, do the roof, correct the structure, the joists that are all rotted, and later on, then concentrate on the bottom
Mhm.
porch.
And Eugene Borges with the building department had also made me aware that, I guess, the material, for lack of a better explanation, the material that was being used was too thin, I think, the sheathing, I think it was.
Yes.
So that, I know he was concerned about that because of the weight and.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's not our
No,
concern.
Right.
That's the building department.
Right.
We're looking at the historic
Mhm.
value of the property.
understand,
Construction, that's gonna deal with the building department.
correct.
Okay. All right.
Are the columns going to remain the same, Pedro?
The columns will remain the same, yes.
Okay. And I'm assuming that the front entrance rail is going to be replaced, is that going to be alike in kind with the existing railing?
Yes, I haven't, will be done later. I was hoping just to concentrate on the roof and,
So you'll come back with
yes.
other presentations. Good, thank you.
yes.
Thank you.
All right, so,
I have a quick question. The fascia board that you're gonna replace, is it gonna be wood?
I would like to keep the
Okay.
wood. There's also some clapboards that are missing right now, so if I could get the commission to approve replacing the clapboards that are over the little, the dormer.
The gable, okay.
Yes,
is the no, that's shingles. I think it's shingles.
it's the wood shingles.
The wood shingles.
Wood
Okay.
shingles,
Individual
yes.
shingles?
Yes.
Not
Yes, individual small
gotcha.
That's the
shingles.
little entrance pediment above the front steps.
Okay.
So, okay.
That's also was changed a bit. You wanna call it a fascia, you wanna call it a wood molding,
Mhm.
whatever it is. Those shingles ran right up to the roof line, the original. Right, then you just had a little trim on there.
Gotcha.
Somewhere along the line, they started ripping off the shingles and they put a piece of, I don't know, if you- part of the fascia or
Mhm.
just
Mm.
a board, I guess, a panel on there. And that's not the
Correct.
original status, it has to get reshingled
To be
complete.
Okay.
To match the existing.
And remove the fascia that's currently, yes.
Any other questions for Mr. Vargas?
Yeah, I got a question, or comment really. I read your email about the door that doesn't go
Yes.
anywhere.
Correct.
I've seen a few doors like that, and I'm gonna just suggest that it might be for the delivery of ice.
Ah,
Oh,
Okay.
I don't know.
Well,
What do you
so-
think?
Well, on
That's a
the,
back porch.
that's a back porch, so on
It's a
the.
back porch, it's not.
Yeah,
Okay.
so on the French Street side, so Mr. Vargas was also looking for advice regarding the back door on the French Street side. There is a door on the first floor with a very tall, very high drop, because the staircase that was there is no longer there, and how it can be basically rebuilt.
correct.
And I looked on the Mass Historical Commission's database to see if there's any photos, and I couldn't find anything. The Historical Society would likely have an earlier photo of the house when the neighborhood was surveyed in the early 80s. Unfortunately, they're in the midst, hopefully ending very soon, of a very large renovation, so their archives are not accessible at the moment. But that doesn't mean that you can't proceed with that. I would recommend, though, having prepared architectural drawings showing how that back stoop and the staircase can be rebuilt.
Sure.
I would recommend that it mimics, especially for the balustrade, that it mimics the existing balustrade on the front porch, which is fairly simple. It's square square balusters, but that look should be retained. Additionally, because you are in the 40C district, you fall under the historic building code, so the height doesn't have to be what our building department will recommend, which will be much higher.
I think it's 36.
Yeah, you can bring it down.
Actually, the rule of thumb for that is get on the sidewalk, look at the handrail, and you should be able to see the sill of the window.
Okay.
So that's
Should
how
line up
you
right up.
adjust. Correct. That's how so it might only be 30 inches, could be 24. It all depends on how it lines up. So stand on the sidewalk, and that'll give you a visual of how high you need to be with that. That'll put you in good stead with the historic preservation of the building, okay? And
Great.
just getting back to the rear porch, to the best of my knowledge, and I go back, I remember when those homes were moved, that your home was moved on May 31st of
Wow.
1981.
Wow.
And the problem was the land was fairly level, so the existing porch did not have the height that it has now. The home was put on your property, which slopes. So now you've got a higher porch that you've got to
Understand.
work with and
Right.
condition it to, okay? But
Okay.
we will gladly work as much as we can. I talked to an individual who, I'm not gonna name names, but he's, if you go on Facebook, he's always on Facebook with photos. He's part of the historic photo club in Fall River. And he's doing some research to see if he can find that home. He had one of the face of that building.
Okay.
And he was gonna go through his archives and see if he could find that building when it was back on the Charlton property, so that you could see exactly what it looked like then.
That would help.
This particular house, there's a few siblings that match up to it. The house next door on High Street to the right is a similar profile. There's one on Prospect and Highland Avenue that still stands that has a similar profile. These were all likely done by the same architect when they were over on Highland Terrace. So and you can also look at that. If there's no photos that are able to be found, you can kind of go with what those existing houses have. Because the whole move from those houses from Charlton in the early 80s was very well documented. But I think actually you're in that cluster. That house, the little mansard Second Empire behind you, and then the brown shingled house to the right, those were all moved at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take a look at those.
Pretty fascinating, yeah. So, all right, so regarding so we have the two items on his application. One was the windows, and then the shingle and the joists and so forth. So we can break it down if you want to do one or the other.
Sure.
I think we should separate them.
We should separate them, yes.
So we can move forward with
Okay.
one.
Yep, okay. All right, so how do we want to do this regarding the windows?
If I add, Jason,
Yes.
I'm trying to move into the property as soon as possible, so I know the windows are on the priority list,
Right.
if whatever
There's
the
a,
commission can do.
So if there's a way that we can, well, one, we would like to take a look at the windows, and then my sticking point is with the replacement material, with the vinyl. That's what I'm
I agree. I would suggest like a clad, aluminum clad, or something where it's got the wood veneer essentially on the outside, but functions
Okay.
similar to a vinyl window. With,
Or a good composite?
yeah, or composite, yeah.
We've looked at one of the windows that we've seen quite a bit of in the 40C. I'm thinking of, forget the address, the house that caught fire, because that was all new windows, and I believe they went with, I wanna say they went with Anderson Renewal. And there's another one, that Horner Millwork, I can't remember the name of the, but anyways, there's a number of different window lines, whether, they just have to have, they have to be composite if you're gonna do a replacement, whether it's wood, whether it's composite with aluminum clad,
Two over one, whole file needs to be the same.
Yes,
Yep.
okay, that
Yep.
helps.
So-
But if we can take a look at the window, if we
Let's
could
do
find
that.
some time, the three of us.
Yes.
Take a look and see what you got, and then we can work a little more closely.
Would we be tabling the vote for the windows?
I would say yes.
Yes, because we don't have anything before us that they approve.
Okay, okay. All right, so how do we wanna go with that? And then,
We'll make the motion to table the windows until review.
okay,
Okay,
And we can get that scheduled within the next few days so that you can move forward, because
yep.
thank you.
you don't wanna delay it anymore.
No, no.
And then after the review, if we come to a resolution, maybe we could allow purchase of the window,
Mhm.
so the vote would then become a positive vote. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so, we have so this is a vote to table the windows, the application to replace the windows,
Yes.
pending further review by the historical commission.
Mhm.
Okay. Make a motion, please.
I will make a motion for that.
And I'll second.
All right. So I have a motion by Ashley, a second by Rick. This is to table, the application to replace the windows pending further review by the historical commission. Roll call?
What does that look like? So we go look at the windows, we agree on something, how does that move forward for him?
We would need, so review by us and also, alternative material that is selected.
Will he have to come before us again?
I would like to make the motion that if the three board members
Okay.
come to some sort of an agreement
Mhm.
with Mr.
Yes.
Vargas, then the vote would become a positive vote.
We cannot vote though on property.
We're not voting on property,
Well,
we're voting on the
what we
window.
will have to do is probably either have an emergency meeting so that he can move forward with it.
And we can-
Perhaps, just a Zoom meeting.
We can do a Zoom meeting.
A Zoom meeting for,
Yeah, we're,
for a vote, okay.
We
Yeah.
can easily schedule
We can do
those
that.
until I think next year, so, yeah,
Okay.
okay, all right, so.
Thank you.
That is.
And I think, oh, sorry, roll call.
No, so,
Sorry.
yeah, so, okay, so we're tabling, vote on tabling the windows, pending review by the historical commission for the replacement material, and we will address this as, a later
And-
special meeting.
Yeah, so the recommendation will be made when we meet with them.
Yep.
And then you have your windows ready to come before us at that meeting, even if it's a Zoom meeting.
And then we
Great.
can, once that's approved, we will, I will submit the, certificate of appropriateness with, licensing in the building department, so they have that, and you can proceed with getting the permit.
Terrific,
Okay.
thank you.
All right, so may I get a motion?
Motion.
Oh, Ashley.
Seconded by Rick.
Oh, second was Rick, sorry.
Yep.
Okay, motion by Ashley, second by Rick. Roll call, Ashley?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Rick?
Rick Mancini, yes.
Joyce? Oh, I'm sorry, Connie?
Yes.
Joyce? And Jason Bouchard, yes. So that's for the tabling of the windows. The next one is the, rebuilding the front covered porch.
I'm comfortable with that. I would make a motion to, provide a certificate of appropriateness for the roof, the porch rebuilding
Please, thank you.
Structural.
And,
and the shingles.
and the shingles, and you will work with the building department
Correct.
to make sure that the proper material is selected, okay.
Yes,
I'll second that motion also.
And Rick?
It's the same shingles I think you've already
Correct.
shown us. Okay,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, okay, perfect.
That harbor blue.
yes,
The architectural shingles,
correct.
okay.
Thank you.
All right, so I have
Actually,
a,
it's a nice color.
Thank you.
all right, so I have a motion by Ashley, second by Rick to approve the application for the rebuilding of the porch roof. Roll call, Ashley?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Rick Mancini, yes.
Connie?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes,
And Jason Bouchard and Rocky, yes. Okay, so I'll send over the certificate of appropriateness for the roof.
Yes.
And then we'll convene, we'll find a compatible date for windows.
I'm pretty flexible with schedule as well, whatever works for the
Is it better
commission.
in the evening or
Um,
daylight?
Daylight, maybe?
Daylight's better, daylight's better. Excellent, okay, we'll coordinate
Great.
this and we'll go from there.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Appreciate it.
Ferguson.
Thank you very
you.
much. Good night.
Good
All
night.
right, thank you. All right, item number 9, we have a certificate of appropriateness request for replacing wood shingles, the northeast corner of 603 Rock Street. This is the George Ballard House, also in the Highlands 40C. Good evening.
Good evening. Hello.
And if you wouldn't mind stating your name and.
Of course. I'm Hilda Moniz from the Fall River Deaconess Home.
Thank you very much. And you sent over photos which are in the application.
Yes.
Everyone should have that. Now, the northeast corner, this is, if you're looking at the house from Rock Street, it's the back left corner.
Correct.
Okay, which it is,
Covered
some of
with
you,
a
yeah,
couple
it's some of you,
dormers
yeah.
and,
Yeah, the house, it has a very complex roof line.
Yeah.
So, and it's basically at the base of the wall where it meets with the roof line, I believe it was.
Yes, it's like the second floor. It's kind of odd how the house,
Yeah, it's a little convoluted.
beautiful home, but yeah, definitely.
Oops, so let's see. Oh, that's 259, sorry, I don't have that one. Let me see, it's in here, the packet that I gave you. And the pattern will be keeping the same.
Exactly the
shingles.
same, yes.
And any questions on that application?
Well, it's kind of a standard.
It's pretty standard, yeah.
Yeah.
And is the material that's there now is, that's on the vertical component, because the roof has, it's the gambrel, so there's the pitch, there's 2 different pitches, but the dormer is the vertical component, okay.
Yes.
All right. Any questions for Ms. Moniz on that item? No?
No.
You have the photos?
I do.
Okay, perfect. I did review, I was trying to pull them up on this and I cannot find, oh, you know what? I have it. Sorry, yeah, we had an issue getting the photos printed,
It's okay.
and so I am, okay. So, it is, just don't turn it, so it's in the back left corner, and then,
Is that what this one?
yeah, and then actually that's a better view, so there we go.
If you wanna see it.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
okay.
Are you ultimately doing the rest of the house or just this one area for now?
Just this one area for
Okay.
now.
I think you did the roof recently?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Pretty standard. Okay. And when do you think the work will?
They're looking at
begin?
mid-May. If
Okay.
I spoke to them this morning, if everything goes okay today, they
Excellent.
are hoping they can get us in line.
Sounds good. Okay. Any questions for Ms. Moniz on that, on item number 9? No?
Yeah, straightforward.
Yep. Excellent.
That's an easy one.
It's never easy with these old houses.
We're well aware of that. May I get, so to approve it, make it a motion?
Well, I'll make a motion that we approve the shingling
Yep.
structure at 603 Rock.
I'll second that.
Thank you. All right, motion by Rick, second by Ashley to approve the certificate of appropriateness for 603 Rock. Roll call, Ashley?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Rick?
Rick Mancini, yes.
Connie?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
And Jason Bouchard Naraki, yes. All right, thank you on that.
Okay.
So I will have that one prepared as well before the end of the week. And then, item number 10, is another certificate of appropriateness for replacing wood shingles on the south facade dormers at 259 Prospect Street. And Ms. Moniz, you're gonna be presenting on that one as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, perfect.
So I had it here, I was looking at my ideas.
All right, so that's just the base of the bay window on the on the 3rd floor, I think it was, right?
Yes.
Okay. So here's the area that's being fixed.
Are those areas leaking? Are you getting
No,
moisture?
not yet. That's
Okay.
why we're
All right.
hoping
That's good.
to, yes.
Good, good.
It's in an
Excellent.
odd spot of the house too, that you don't really go around the back and look. We don't utilize that part of the yard, so,
And it's the south facade, so it's getting the
The sun.
brunt of the sun, and
Yes.
it's, yeah, that'll wear itself out a whole lot faster. Yep,
Sitting on your
it's flipping.
pre-prime red cedar.
Yep.
Sounds good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
excellent. Any questions for Ms. Mooney's on that item?
no.
Okay. And same thing mid-May, as you're looking at the
Yes, it's gonna be the same company.
same contractor, okay.
And that was my question. If you had water damage, you could have opened that up and then found out that there was more structural and
Yeah, no, so far, so good. We're,
good.
Good.
yes.
All right, I got a motion, then there's no further questions to approve the certificate.
I'll make a motion to approve the certificate.
Thank you.
Okay. And I'll second that motion.
Thank you. Motion by Connie, second by Rick to approve the application for 259 Prospect. Roll call, Ashley?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Rick?
Rick Mancini, yes.
Connie?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
And Jason Bouchard Naraki, yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Very easy.
Thank
Have a
you.
great night.
You
Thank
too.
you so
Thank
much.
you.
And I'll send both those out before the end of the week.
All right, perfect. Thank you. Have a
My
good
pleasure.
night.
You too.
You
Thank you
too.
so much. All right, thank you, everyone. So, under old business, annual report, I am almost done. I will have that ready for the next meeting, which I don't know what the filing deadline, I had asked and I didn't receive a response as to when that is, so as long as we have one, I believe that is fine. Next year, I will be much more on it to get the annual report done. It's a little complex. I was looking at past annual reports, which were very detailed, and then also the ones that were more recently filed, which are not nearly as detailed. So I'm just trying to find a medium and sum everything up for the year.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll have that for the next meeting. Item number 12, Bank Street Armory update. You were all here, actually, and Joyce. So we met with the committee on ordinances, and everyone was in the audience. I was meeting with committee on ordinances. We had, they're working to fine-tune the wording of the ordinance to transfer it from the park board to the historical commission, with some, basically just working with Corporation Council to have
And with the
Yeah.
assistance of the
Preservation Society.
Yes.
So, I think, what was it, 4 weeks for the turnaround of
30
the-
days.
30 days, yep, for the drafting of that. So we'll be meeting with them again, to determine what the next steps on that
May
are.
21st.
May 21st, okay.
So what's the next step?
We're waiting for Corporation Council to draft, the,
Transfer.
to draft the transfer, and also just, it has to pass through them again. So we'll meet with them again at the end of May, with an update on the amendments.
Be interesting.
There's a need to research and see what the legalities are.
Have we ever done that before? Have we ever been involved as a commission
No.
with
No.
property in the city?
Mm-mm. No.
Okay.
No, I believe we are able to,
The first time.
we are able to hold, deed restrictions on properties. We don't have that, we don't have that right now. It's in the ordinance, but, it'll be a first. So they're working through the ordinance on that. So item number 13, update on certified local government application. I did receive an email from a woman, her name is Grace, who works for the National Park Service. They have received the application. They are reviewing it. They said within 15 business days to have it reviewed. It was signed off on the state level by Brona Simon, who is the State Historic Preservation Officer. So all systems are good so far. We are just awaiting the final word. So I'm 95% sure it'll be fine. It'll be passed and accepted. So that's
Great.
big. That's very big.
Mhm.
Yep. So, update on 14A. This is, item 14, the Steep Brook Form B. I received an email from Elaine Stiles, the professor, today, confirming that they have students who are able to present on Tuesday, April 30th at 6 p.m. I have already booked this room. I did that well in advance just to make sure that we had it. So I'm just working out the details, but I will send out invitations. Who should be invited?
I would get the CPC
Mhm.
committee,
Okay.
definitely. The historic, definitely. Preservation Society
Mhm.
should be present. And I will call and get a hold of the water department. We'll get Mike LaBosse here and probably Paul, and many members of the forestry service that we can get.
All right.
That bioreserve is a big thing. We should also, I would recommend that, if we wanna get, because the bioreserve is becoming so active and
Mhm.
becoming such a vital part of the city, maybe some of our, I don't know, city members, maybe the city council, et cetera, might
I'm-
wanna attend.
I'm going to extend an invite to City Council, the Mayor's Office,
Conservation.
Conservation, everyone in the Planning Department too. So that includes Chris Pirano, the Assistant City Planner, and Dan Aguirre, who is the Director of Engineering and
Correct.
Planning. So
Yeah.
they will all get an invite.
And the
Um,
conservation
All right, so conservation.
should be brought into that.
And so this is regarding the Form Bs for Steep Brook, which
Well, Steep Brook and the bioreserve.
the bioreserve. Okay, and the bioreserve. We'll just
The Roger Williams University is not doing the bioreserve, they're doing the Roger Williams, but it's.
You mean the houses, the properties?
Properties,
Okay.
Bs, yes, and the Form As are what the bioreserve.
They
but
did the
that's-
they did the Form As for the bioreserve.
No, they did
Oh,
not.
oh, oh, oh.
They
Okay.
did not, but it's part of this whole package, so.
Okay, all right. There and planning. Okay. All right. So I will have that. I'll send that out, and I'd like to do it tomorrow or Thursday, just so because I don't want to wait too soon to get the invites out. So I'll just send a general email. Okay. I think Elaine said she has 3 students that will be coming. So that's good. Let's see, update on item number 15, Highlands Local Historic District expansion. So mailing list is complete. The survey letter, a sample of the letter that Ashley had worked on, thank you, that was sent over to the Mayor's Office and Corporation Council just because I've been trying to, in the past I was trying to get a meeting with the mayor. I've emailed a few times and I haven't been able to get one on just an update of projects that we're working on. So I sent the sample letter over to the Mayor's Office and Corporation Council so they can review it, just so there's no surprises. Alan Rumsey, Corporation Council had asked that we hold off on sending out the surveys yet because they just need to make sure that there's no issue in sending it out to homeowners who are not in the 40C. And then Dan Aguirre, and I did not realize that he was director of planning. I just thought it was engineering. So I did not include him on the email. So Chris Pirano thankfully had forwarded over. So that is being, he just wanted the list of the addresses. So the full list of the addresses, everything that we have basically was sent over to him for review. So that's where we stand on it. I know Alan is out this week. So we should have, I hope fairly soon, the go-ahead to send out the survey letter. I have given the heads up to Carrie, so I will make sure, I will help her at least with getting those out. So it's just, they just need to make sure that the survey is, there's no problems with it. I did mention that it was copied from, with the advice by MHC, that we just used their template, we just had to make the necessary revisions to it.
Yeah.
So he's aware of that. So that's where we stand on that. Do you have a question?
I'm just confused as to why we need their approval.
Like, why wouldn't we be able to send it out to non-40C people?
I'm not sure. I think part of it too is that, this, I don't think they've had this, at least with the current administration, this hasn't been done with other committees. I'm not 100% sure. But I know the mayor wanted to be brought up to speed as to what we're working on and how big of an area. I did also mention that we did go with the advice from MHC with a larger area, because ultimately that has to get carved down quite a bit, once we get those surveys back.
I think it's with a little caution, the city wants to proceed, just with caution, so there's no legal ramifications of any kind.
Yeah.
I think that's the law.
It sounded like, based on the email, that we should have that response fairly soon, so, all right, next, item 16, we have Preservation Month, next month in May. We have a Facebook page, and I have to find the login for it, but, if there's any ideas that we have to promote what we're doing, what we've done in the past, at least in the past year, I suppose, with, you know, history.
This presentation would be ideally
Yeah.
suited. If we could make it more public, put it on Facebook, put it on the government page. Maybe if we can get government TV to sort of advertise a little bit about that,
I can ask.
we might draw some
We might need a
attention.
bigger room.
Yeah.
Well, that might
Yeah.
be too, wouldn't
Maybe.
that be
Who knows?
nice?
It
Wouldn't
would
that
be
be
nice.
nice?
Yeah. Okay.
I wonder if
Yeah,
we could do it out there.
Ideas?
Like,
I
you
would
know what I
have-
mean?
Got a
Yeah,
few.
Atrium, I can ask. I know the AV hookup will be a little bit more tedious out there. And yeah, I can check, but we
Yeah.
might. I mean, we may have enough. We
We'll
may
have
have
to-
enough. Yeah.
There's no real way to tell.
No. So that's good
Standing
with
room
Steve
only,
Brook.
it's
Yeah.
fine.
So that's on the Facebook. Can I also maybe ask somebody to, if there's somebody who's savvy on social media, or at least a little bit more active on Facebook, because I'm not really active on Facebook, to also have access to the page to do like postings, whether it's like the agendas or anything like that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I am
If you can find the
definitely not
login.
a
You're
Facebook
not.
person, no.
Are you a Facebook person?
I am.
Okay. I'll get you signed up. Any other ideas that we can put? That's really our primary outlet right now is social media. Well, at least we don't have an Instagram page or
Right.
anything like that, but Facebook. In the past, we've also reached out to. It's been a long time since COVID. We used to reach out to the schools to do little presentations. I think with history of the neighborhoods or things like that.
It was through the neighborhood associations.
Okay.
So, the North End Association would hold a meeting, and we would be there and make a presentation.
Okay. Would it be worth doing something like that, reaching out to is there still a Highlands Neighborhood Association?
There's the Highlands, yes, and there's also the Lower Highlands, which has not met in 6 months, I guess
Okay.
now, but they'll be meeting again, they'll pick up.
We could make a,
There's the Maplewood, there's, there's still a number of active neighborhood
Are you
associations
trying
in
to
the city.
target the area that we're trying to expand?
I think so.
Yeah.
Just so they are aware of that. And also too, if we are able to, as a CLG, one thing that it should be considered too is expanding, at least looking at expanding the National Registry districts. Like the Highlands is kind of oddly shaped. It doesn't really, it goes up Highland Avenue, but it doesn't really broach into the neighborhoods east and west of Highland Avenue, and it only goes up to Stanley. So it is worth exploring too, like Maplewood. I don't think anything's really documented in Maplewood. Flint Village, same thing. That's not a National Registry district. So just maybe like reaching out to the neighborhood groups. Is,
There's 9 neighborhood groups.
sorry.
9. There's 9 neighborhood groups.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Any other ideas? Is the Preservation Society, does anyone know if the Preservation Society's doing anything for
I have
preservation?
no idea.
Any ideas on the preservation?
Lecture. You wanna-
Number 16?
We're planning on doing a lecture.
Jimmy, you wanna come
We're
up real,
actually- we're-
do you wanna come up real quick? Sorry, put you on the spot.
I was getting so comfortable, I felt like the meeting was over.
Almost.
Jim Soul from the Preservation Society. Yeah, the Preservation Society for Preservation Month is planning on doing a lecture series, or a lecture, sorry, on Olmsted Parks. We still have to nail a few things to make sure it's gonna happen.
Okay.
Where would that be held, Jim? Where would you hold that lecture?
That's what we're waiting to get nailed down, so I don't wanna say.
Okay.
Okay. Would DCR be available to you? That's a fine auditorium. Down there on the waterfront.
No, we have an idea, we have a whole plan, but it's hinging on an approval.
Okay. Okay. All right, and, you know, that's something we can also, once you have the details, once you have the details nailed down too, we can, I'm sure, I think we can probably, spread that with our, on our Facebook page, I think. I don't think there's any conflict with that, no. So, okay.
We'll be posting it too. So.
Yep, perfect, okay. Thank you, Jen. Any other questions on, or ideas for Preservation Month? I mean, it's coming up, but just things to, I would like to get more, I would love to have a more active presence on social media at least, so.
Joyce has some ideas. I don't think she's here again.
No. You
Yeah,
have
I
ideas?
just had a thought, how about inviting this old house to Fall River?
Potentially do that.
We won't make it for May of 2024, but somewhere down the road, I don't know
This
what it
old house,
takes
the
to
show?
do that,
Do they do
but,
So they're actually located, there's a plumber that's, I believe it's a plumber from that show in the city.
Oh,
Yeah.
He just opened up.
Okay.
That's right.
oh, interesting.
Mhm.
No idea. Oh, that's good to know.
Yep.
Okay. I think, was it, no, I'm thinking of a different TV series. There's one where they went into neighborhoods and actively worked on houses that needed, you know,
This old house.
No.
No, was it like, I wanna say it was like Bob Vila or something, but they, it was well into the 2000s. They were doing, they would go into city neighborhoods and, you know, with their trained
Bob
craftsmen.
Vila is this old house.
It's
Oh, I thought it was, Home.
I know what, I seen something like that. I know what you're talking about, but I can't think of the name.
Yeah.
Home Again.
It's something like
Again.
Bar Rescue.
Yeah.
They come out and refurbish your house. It's one of them ones that you gotta call them in
Mm.
order for them to come out and do it.
Right.
So, okay, we can look at that. Any other ideas, Joyce? That's,
well, I've got some other ideas.
okay.
There's always information spots that BCC does. They could interview people in the city that are restoring their homes, or they could even interview contractors who are involved in preservation.
Okay.
I mean, I learned right from all these presentations who those contractors are.
Right.
And if they're having to learn from us and follow the guidelines, it's good for them to let the rest of the city know who they are and what they can do. So I've got those two ideas. There's also Fred TV at Durfee High School. They have been very active in this city doing documentaries, primarily on companies that are manufacturers. And they did the company in the industrial park that does the linens, Matuk. Matuk. So Fred TV does very good work, and they won awards with this on manufacturing in Fall River. So we could just divert them a little bit and ask them to do a student project on preservation.
Things to keep in, with 2 weeks before May to keep on the back burner maybe. for like
Those
future,
are all
but
my
no,
ideas.
That's a neat idea.
Out of
Thank
ideas.
you. Thank you. Anyone else on that?
3 ideas
Not right
tonight.
now.
We'll also,
Have to brainstorm.
yeah, okay, cool. So we are, so with that said, if there's nothing else, we are meeting again on Tuesday, April 30th. It'll be a special meeting to see the presentation by the students at Roger Williams. So, any other questions at all? 7:13.
No
Okay.
questions.
May I get a motion to adjourn the meeting then at 7:14 PM? Tonight, please.
Motion?
Ashley,
Second.
Rick. All right, to adjourn, we will be meeting again April 30th. Roll call, Ashley,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Rick,
Rick Mancini, yes.
Connie,
Yes.
Joyce.
Yes.
And Jason Bouchard and Rocky, yes. All right, excellent. Thank you very much, everyone.